from the beginning. Even Trey Gowdy today said, and I quote, "If you had a contact with Russia, tell the special counsel about it. Don't wait for the New York Times to figure it out." Why not be upfront and transparent on Saturday when he was first approached?
This story only has legs because the fake news industrial complex is obsessed. 9 months of accusations with zero evidence of anything illegal. On the contrary, the DNC sends its operative onto the soil of a foreign nation, to the embassy of the Ukraine, not to collect dirt, but to actually use it in a coordinated campaign with the foreign government. That's what CNN should be covering, but why aren't you?
Well, two things on that. First of all, you're avoiding answering the question about Donald Trump's lack of transparency from the beginning.
Total transparency.
So him saying that this meeting was about adoption issues, about his concern for orphans?
It was absolutely misrepresented. The individual who requested the meeting...
Right, no, but that's what he said the meeting was about on Saturday, when he knew all along by Saturday that's not what the meeting was about. So that's not being transparent, right?
When he gave as much information as was necessary to be put out there after the
it wasn't correct
accusations.
Information. It wasn't correct information.
Absolutely.
It was about this meeting was about adoption, about orphans.
All of it was true. All of it was true.
This meeting was about
somebody wanted to provide negative information. That at the end of the meeting it was under false pretenses. That it ended up being about adoption. And then, do you really want to talk? I thought we were going to talk about real issues, like what we're doing with our allies in France.
I am going to ask you, but you're not being honest. You're not being upfront.
Anderson, how many minutes are we in?
Are you a TV producer now? You're concerned about how minutes we're
talking?
No,
I'm just disappointed again that you're falling into the fake news trap.
Okay.
You're falling into the fake news trap again, and this is sad, Anderson.
Okay. I mean, you're like shiny, you're shaking shiny objects to try to divert people, but I don't think viewers are really that easily diverted.
You know why the president's description of a witch hunt is accurate? Because there never were witches, and there never was any collusion. It's bogus. The DNC.
Again, I'm just wondering, you're claiming that Donald Trump Jr. was transparent from the get-go.
Donald Trump Jr. is transparent.
He didn't just release his emails because the New York Times
you're like a broken record.
No, because I'm not getting any answers from you.
I'm answering you. Every time.
No, you're responding. You're actually not answering because you're not actually being upfront.
Let's let the viewers judge, who decided that you are now at 13th place in national ratings, behind Nick at Night, which is at 11.
You used that line on Monday, and you know it was sort of mildly amusing on Monday.
Tucker Carlson gets 4 million viewers. You barely scratched 800,000.
But I think it's funny that you have enough time in the White House, which is apparently you're so busy, you're able to sit around and read Nielsen numbers. Which
I get really good prep from my team because the White House press team is superb.
Okay.
I don't deal with this stuff because I do have a day job.
So last night, Donald Trump Jr. said two contradictory things. First, he said that people were trying to reach out all the time during the campaign with things like this, information like this, which is something many surrogates have said, that this happens all the time. And then he also said that no one else at any time during the campaign reached out saying they had information about Hillary Clinton. So which is it? Did it happen all the time, or did it never happen?
I will return to what the President and Donald Trump Jr. and also Jay Sekulow said, that in the heat of the campaign, he took a meeting as a favor to an acquaintance. That meeting was sold to him on false pretenses, and as soon as it was clear that that was the case, it ended.
Right, but the surrogates are saying it happened all the time. He said it happened all the time, but then he also said last night, this is the only time it ever happened. I'm just trying to get a straight answer.
You'd have to ask him. I didn't run his day planner.
Fair enough. Lindsey Graham asked Chris Wray, the president's nominee for FBI director, whether it was appropriate for Donald Trump Jr. to take the meeting, and if he should have alerted the FBI. Listen, this is what he said. I just want to play that for our viewers.
Well, let me ask you this. If I got a call from somebody saying the Russian government wants to help Lindsey Graham get reelected, they've got dirt on Lindsey Graham's opponent, should I take that meeting?
Well, Senator, I would think you'd want to consult with some good legal advisors before you did that.
So the answer is, should I call the FBI?
I think it would be wise to let the FBI know.
You're going to be the director of the FBI, pal. So here's what I want you to tell every politician. If you get a call from somebody suggesting that a foreign government wants to help you by disparaging your opponent, tell us all to call the FBI.
To the members of this committee, any threat or effort to interfere with our elections from any nation state or any non-state actor is the kind of thing the FBI would want to know.
So I'm just wondering, do you believe the president's nominee to lead the FBI is wrong about that, or is right, that this is something that Donald Trump Jr. should have called the FBI about? And as to your claim about, Ukraine involvement with the DNC, which they deny, if that happened, that they should have called the FBI about it.
No, they actually initiated it. The DNC initiated it.
Right.
That's where the real story is. When you actually go to another government to coordinate
Right. I mean,
dirt
yeah.
on a political campaign. This isn't something we started. This is
I know.
somebody who
Look,
wasn't-
we've reported
right? So there's
on-
a
we've
massive
reported-
difference.
we've reported
You do
on
know the
this.
difference, right?
We've
When you
reported-
initiate it, when you initiate
Yeah,
it.
I understand the word initiate.
Good.
Yeah, we actually reported
Good.
on this. Politico wrote the article, I believe it was back in January. I'll put it up
Mm-hmm.
on the screen. So did CNN. The difference is there's not, as far as we know, an active FBI investigation of any Ukraine involvement. And frankly, if there was, I think it would be a much bigger story, and I would love to report on it every single night. But there is an active FBI investigation into Russian collusion in this election and Russian involvement in this election and any possible collusion with the campaign. So that's why I think there's a difference in the reporting.
But then why haven't you dedicated 10 minutes of another segment, which is meant to be about international relations, on that story instead of what you're